And we're live, I believe. Peace.
Pe- Peace to everyone.
Everyone who's here, not yet, nobody. So let's see if our questioners come in today. We'll give them a few minutes. We can chit chat till then and do some housekeeping. If anybody wants to put up their questions, they can put them up in the chat, and we will come around to them after we've done our talk between ourselves. Imran's
And
background looks pretty good. Yeah, you're out there. I'm just in a stupid room. You've got nice trees and garden, everything behind you. Yeah.
yeah, thank God for that. But it's going to get noisy, so just bear with me on that. Sometimes there's a lot of traffic passes by. But you got good looking room, man. Nice light on your face. Look at my face is darkened.
Well, you have plus and minus. One
Yeah,
or
but
the
the thing is, I wanted to say something, man. It just slipped my mind. It was not a question. Yeah, the description to join this chat is in the link to join this chat is in the description of the video, right?
Yep, it's there. Yeah. So and also it's scrolling on the screen. And I can actually put it in the chat as well. Yeah, if you want to, people
Yeah,
want
that's what I
to
wanted to
do
say.
that.
That
Yeah, I can do that as well. Let's see. Let me just. I'll just put it in the chat here, and whoever wants to come and have a conversation, they can. Oh yeah, we're connected to all four, like Rumble, YouTube. I don't know what the other are. I think it's D Live and Twitch. I have no idea. I have like four live streams going right now. So
hmm
so that's so we've got a couple of people listening in right now. Whoever's there can give a hi to us to know who's there online. I know one of them for sure. I don't know the other one. Oh,
Yeah,
there's two.
don't be shy, guys. You can. This is the time to ask the questions. This is the time to do it because where we're going soon,
Whoever
we
has
won't have time
the,
to
whoever
ask
has
any questions.
the ability to come and chat, they're more than welcome. I'm open to any questions regarding uh, God and His books and anything else you want to ask. Talk about what is going on and what's happening. So anyway, let's start with what. Do you have anything to go on today?
Yeah, but it's so surreal to think about it. Think about it, Asad. That the first time when we found out about the Quran, the book God sent you to explain it to us, we've asked you so many questions in 15 years. And I was thinking about it yesterday that it should never have been about just asking questions. It's like, I was, I've always asked God for stuff, but I never stopped to think, what is He asking me to do? Or what He's telling me to do? I would always say, God, do this for me, or bring this for me, or do this for me, without disregarding what is He telling me to do. Just
Or
completely disregard
disregarding?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that when this become when we anyone who disobeys God or is not anyone who is not sincere to God, I don't think he can be sincere to anyone after that. It's like a trickle down effect.
No, no, no. He
So
can be sincere to Satan after that.
to
Absolutely.
Satan, yeah, okay, okay, let me correct. He can be sincere to Satan, but but righteously he will not be sincere to anyone else.
I
And
mean, there is. I mean, you are
there is,
people are sincere to each other in the life of the world. It's not like just because you're not sincere to God, you won't be sincere to someone else who is not Satan. I was just saying for sure you're sincere to Satan because you're following him when you disobey God in any way. And we all disobey God in one way or the other. I mean, we're not all perfect. None of us are perfect except the one I know called Jesus from
hmm,
mankind. So you can be, I mean, people are sincere to their children, to their friends, to their parents. They're all rejectors or not, doesn't matter. Even if they're not sincere to God or disobey God or disregard what this life is actually about. So yeah, I mean,
I
it's not
so
like
in my
dry like
I
that.
can say I can say that in my case, I found out that when I did not have sincerity to God, I really was not sincere to anyone else until the realization of sincerity to God came in. And that's where I was taking the question part that, when I didn't listen to what he was saying, how can it be possible that I would listen to others who would talk about him or talk
Oh,
about
but that this
righteousness?
is now you're putting a caveat in there, yeah. So obviously, if you're not sincere to listening to God, you're not going to listen to anyone who's sincere to God. You will listen to all the others, including yourself.
Yeah.
So no, this
So
is like
that's
one way. You're not looking at the other end of the equation. You're just looking at one end of the equation. If you don't
what is the
listen,
other end?
the other is you listen to everyone else who is against God because you're against God. So you can't say
Hmm.
that you didn't weren't sincere. You were sincere to your own soul. I don't think there's anybody who's not sincere to their own soul. I mean, how can you not be sincere to yourself?
So the right way to say it would be that when I'm not sincere to God, I will not be sincere to anyone who is talking about God
I mean,
or sincere.
that's like saying whoever's sincere to Trump will not like talking to anyone who's not sincere to Trump, and vice versa. I mean, this is just a equation which works any which way that you are inclined towards.
So
It doesn't
how
apply only to God or the Satan, or it applies to everybody. If it applies to you, whatever you're sincere to, you will incline to that when it's presented to you. What are you sincere to? The problem is most souls are unaware of themselves. They don't focus on themselves. So they're not even in touch with themselves. So they don't know themselves, yet they have inclinations to one thing or the other in life.
hmm,
And that's what they will incline to, knowing or unknowing. I mean, there's a conscious and there's a subconscious part of your soul, which you have to unravel by insight into your own self and your own experience. And of course, the only thing that will open all of that is the book of God or the books of
hmm.
God. God will only open that to you. And I mean, every time I go deeper into my own soul, I find potholes that I never knew existed. So God will not just burden you with every evil that you have immediately, because then we'll be crushed. It's a process. You have to go step by step, little by little. The ones that you clearly know, you need to address those, and then distinguish which part of your uh, evil that you have uh, will um, will be most beneficial to you to overcome and to get rid of. And that's your decision. That comes from within you and your situation. You have to analyze that for yourself. I mean, everybody has to do it for themselves. I mean, this faith is not dependent on others. Your faith is dependent on your own soul and what it inclines to.
So uh, me being obedient to someone who's not sincere to God is following my wickedness. Is that
Again,
correct?
I didn't get that.
Me obeying anyone who is not sincere to God and his messengers is following my wickedness.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you define that as wickedness, the others will define that as piousness. So I don't know why this is it. Again, you have to look at the what is going on, right? You are defining that as wickedness because you are saying it's wickedness, right? If
Because
the other party,
in
no,
my
no, it doesn't.
case,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's your case or someone else's case. It's your definition of wickedness is to be unsincere, insincere to God and His messengers. If the other party says to be sincere to God and His messenger is wickedness, which is all the party on the earth today, then like how does it change? Well, I mean, it's your definition. It's like I say there is a God, and as the other says there is no God. right? So
Hmm.
who
Hmm.
is going to be on which side of that equation? I will be always on the side of what God is saying and God's existence. The other will be on the other side. But the thought process will be determined on that aspect of, do you believe there's a God? So um, your whole idea of wickedness is based on your faith that there is God and you need to obey Him. Correct?
Yeah.
So then, if the other party is opposite, then how does that help? Now we have somebody saying, "Man of God is here now." I guess this is Abdullah, man of God. I sorry, I forgot about the class. Okay. He-
This
okay.
I if he doesn't have the question, my question was about the chapter, the clot,
Yeah. Huh.
and it was about specifically the sign that sees itself sufficient.
Right. So you want to
So
bring?
if
You
you
want
can
to?
bring that chapter up and just it's a short chapter, you can explain the
Yeah.
whole chapter.
Hmm. Let's bring this up. Okay. Okay. Here we are. So what in this?
First, the clot. What is the clot?
I mean, the clot refers to what we are created from, a clot.
Mhm.
That's what I understand. Because it says, creates the man from clot. It is a
Mhm.
clot, right? The sperm and the egg combine and they clot together. From that, we are created in this life, by the way, in this second life that we are living. Go ahead. I can't hear you. I think I've
Yeah.
lost.
So so that part, he sees it self-sufficient. If you can explain that, is that being wealthy and seeing yourself self-sufficient?
No, he sees it self-sufficient, not themselves. The word is that the man is a transgressor, transgressing. Yeah, the man generally all. I mean, talking about all the man. Yeah, that's sees it self-sufficient. He looks around what he has, and he looks around and he says, "I can manage myself. That's it. I don't need anyone else. I'm great." And of course, there is a line below which he knows he's not great, and those guys don't see it self-sufficient. Yeah, the poor and the downtrodden and all those people. Is that what you're concerned about? Anything else?
No, that's about it.
That's it.
Because yeah, because this is what happens to us, right? When we get the wealth and we forget God,
Yep. That's what we do normally.
and we're good to go. We beg Him for everything, and then He brings us, and then we forget Him.
Yeah. That's exactly what we do. Once we get something good, then we blame ourselves for it. When evil comes to it, we blame everyone else, including God, for it. So we have a question from Man of God, and you can guess who that is. So he says, "Can you please explain how the Quran was revealed to Muhammad?" Okay. And then through Gabriel. And can you please explain the entire narrative of this occurrence from within the Quran? Oh my God. Well, you can go and look at my video. It's in my feed. You can listen to that. I can't explain all of that right now. It's not that straightforward. I can give you an overview, I cannot explain it in detail. Okay. So, I mean, I don't think we have enough time to go through all of that. You can go to my video. I can link that video actually. That we're here. I can I can go to my video, my YouTube channel, and I'm pretty sure it's somewhere there. Yeah, how the Quran came down. Do you even remember where where which episode that was? If someone can
Oh
remind.
man, there are so many episodes. but maybe we should do a search
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, here it is.
keyword.
How the Quran came down. There it is. So I can. Here it is. So when you have time, you can go and listen to this video. It has all the details that, and of course, it is not comprehensive, but it's comprehensive enough. Now, I mean, I can give you a basic overview. How the Quran was revealed to Muhammad is that it came at the end of the sequence. The Quran wasn't revealed to Muhammad up until the time the command of God came down, which is the Quran coming down. It had occurred the at the end of the sequence of events, at the end of which Muhammad and the believers were controlling Mecca and Jerusalem. They were in control of both those places, and the angels and the spirit, they descended in that month of Ramadan, where Muhammad and the believers completed the Hajj, which is called the Hajj the Great. It ain't the Hajj that happens on Friday or whatever nonsense they feed you. It is that Hajj which occurred in that month of Ramadan. And in that month, the Quran came down in 10 nights. In 10 nights, they came down in that month, starting with the second night, ending with, I think, the 29th night. I don't know. You can go and look at the video. There are 10 nights, and it was every second after 2 nights, the spirit and the angel descended. 2, 5, 8. You can go on. You can look at.
Even in the odd.
Yeah, even in the order. The first was 2, the next was 5, then the next was 8, I believe. You can keep on going, and the 10, I think, ends on the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. But you can look at the video; it's pretty clear. And the what Muhammad was inspired is up to God and up to the Spirit. What he was inspired during that 25 or 27, whatever years that he spent in that uh, task of his bringing the message to the people around the Arabs and the Jews and the Christians who were in Jerusalem and in probably in where Saudi Arabia is, where the Arabian Peninsula is. So he didn't get the whole Quran until that time. So this is at the end of his mission where the command comes down. The mission hasn't ended, but the mission till the command of God came down. And after that, he read the Quran like all the other believers with him, and he learned whatever he learned after that via God's inspiration from, I believe it was 627 AD, but these are just numbers whenever it came down. And from then, whatever happened after that, and they were let loose to take control of all of the Holy Land, which is Jerusalem and the land of Israel today, called the land of Israel, and our surrounding areas, and all of Makkah. So that the whole thing returned to the believers, and Muhammad, the leader of the believers at that time. And then the warring and the battles that we hear about, which, in my opinion, are misrepresented completely by saying that the so-called religion, which is the way was spread with the sword. None of that is right. That's nonsense. Nobody forces anyone to believe from the messengers or the true believers. I mean, if we force someone to believe, we are going to be accounted for that, for our nonsense that we impose, or we on the penalty of death you must believe. And there are statements that whoever rejected after belief must be killed. These are part of the faith that these morons who call themselves Muslims and are not, they spread. They say if you become a murtid, they call him, somebody who turns away from the way, you are entitled to be killed, and that's the law. That's what Muhammad put in place. Muhammad is not crazy. Muhammad did not wake up one day and start making his own law, which you call Sharia law. It doesn't exist. There is no such thing. as Sharia law. That is absolute nonsense. There is a law. The law is in the Quran, complete, without error, without mistake, absolute, no doubt in it. Go and look at the law. Everything that you need to understand as far as the law of God is explained in the Quran. And that law is the repetition of the law Moses got from God. No two things about it. Anyone who utters that Muhammad brought some other law other than that of Moses will go to hell. That means all the so called Muslims and the Christians and the Jews who don't follow the law. Of course, once you believe it's a law and then you don't follow it, you're going to hell as well, which is what they're doing. So let's look. He's also asking something. The reason I ask here instead of watching the video is so that I have any questions and I would be able to ask them next time. Watch the video and ask that nonsensical question for me. I mean, you don't have the time to watch a video I've made and make notes of what you want to clarify and bring him to me, then I don't have time for you to answer all that question to you today. This is just nonsensical. Yeah. People are just, they want to be spoon fed, right? I mean, all of you are the same. You want to be spoon fed, you want to do anything yourself. I will clarify the questions you have. I've explained how the Quran came down. That's all I got to say. It was not the way the so called Muslims have fed the nonsense into your minds and mine and my mind. I had to overcome all the belief that I was taught, all of it. I had to purge it from my heart completely, without exception. And that's how you have to go about it. You can't just jump from A to uh, Z or Z. You got to go through the process. When people say, I want to understand how the Quran came down, last week I got a question from you, or I think it was him, that this prayer, how does prayer work? They didn't, with a question that the prayer, they don't even understand what the prayer is. I mean, these are the basic things, and you want to understand how the Quran came down. I mean, like, that's just nonsensical for me. I didn't believe or understand or figure out how the Quran came down till I was a messenger of God. Not a Muslim, not a believer, but a messenger of God. Then God showed me how the Quran came down and many other things, which I really look back, I don't need to know them. I don't need to know how the Quran came down. But God shows it to me to destroy the nonsense that we have been fed, and I can destroy it from the Quran, which I have in the videos that I have made. Nobody watches them, and I'm not interested in making anybody watch it. I'm just telling you, if you're interested, the answer is there. So his now the question, the statement is, I meant the questions that might arise immediately. And what, are you going to die if you don't get them answered immediately? I mean, what is wrong with you?
It's our defense mechanism that's
I
kicking in.
know. They're often different than the ones that might arise within the mind afterwards. Well, when they arise, there's something called a paper and a pencil. And these days they have digital devices where you can write your thoughts on, like what you're doing right here in the chat. You can do that. And you can keep it for the next week or the Friday that we meet today, and then I'll answer the questions. I mean, I'm not here to, again, spoon feed you everything. Yeah, you have to do it for yourself as well. You got to strive. God doesn't hand it to you, right? It's not like God hands you everything on a silver platter. You have to strive and do what He's given you the capacity to do before He brings the true help, which actually makes you believe, which actually makes you understand. Because we cannot understand things without God explaining them to us, no matter what we do. I mean, all these people who are running around saying they've figured things out and they've created this and they've created that and they've created all these missiles and all these tanks and all these planes and all these trains and the tunnels and all nonsense. They didn't figure out anything. God has inspired them how to do it. It's not like we create something which has not already been created. That is hogwash. There's nothing that we create or have created from the beginning of this creation that we're in on this earth that has not already been created outside this earth. We only steal that idea, or we're inspired that idea to be more um, like positive to ourselves, that we've been inspired that from the outside, and then we create the thing, the widgets that we create, call them widgets, right? They glorify these widgets that we they create, like these devices, the phones, the communication. Do you think all this has not already been created before we created it? Not just that our ancestors did it after Adam here, that it's been created before Adam even arrived here on this earth. Your evolution, this nonsense, yeah. I mean, there's no evolution except what you see in front of you. Obviously, there is evolution, not the evolution they teach you. That's complete nonsense. I mean, this statement, for example, that chicken and the egg exercise, yeah. What was it first, the chicken or the egg? Oh no, the chicken can't be made before. Oh no, the chicken. No, idiots. The chicken came first, okay? Just deal with it. The egg came after the chicken, right? Because man was created before his son and daughter. All right, the man and his spouse was created first here. It wasn't egg. They were created from dust here, and then they were given life here, and then from them too we all were created. So just that example will tell you, if you listen to your heart, that obviously the chicken had to come first, not the egg. All nonsense. Anyway, so let's move on. I the only one person is asking question. There's really no one else asking questions. Yeah, there are five watchers and no questioners except one. Hmm.
By the way, Abdullah is servant of Allah, servant of God, right?
Yeah,
Or
servant
wrong?
of the God. Why is that?
Yeah, it's not
No, yeah, I
man
mean
of God.
he is man of, now he's man of God. Before he was servant of God. I mean, you can also put yourself as Satan of God as well, because he's of God as well. He didn't come from anyone other than God. The Satan. Oh no, that is evil. That came from somewhere else. Yeah, really. So there's another God creating evil other than the God that you believe is good. All right. Okay, so
Mankind needs to understand the whole concept of God first.
let's see. Here's a question. Let's bring it up. How can we determine that hell is underneath the earth from within the Quran? And how can we determine that hell has punishment other than burning from within the Quran? Wow. Read the Quran. That's a simple answer. You will understand it. And how is it under the Quran? There's no proof of its being under the Quran. I mean, sorry, under the earth. Excuse me. The You have to understand how the creation is. It's written in the Quran. It says the seven heavens above this earth. Yeah, and what is under the earth also belongs to God. Now, when you figured all that out, and above the seven heavens is the throne of God, so where do you think the hell is going to be? Below us, not above us. That's simple, right? But you have to understand, you don't live on a spinning globe running around the galaxies and constellations and all this nonsense that we have been taught and we've been forced to believe. And if someone says other than that, he is ostracized from society, called crazy, a tin foil hat wearing lunatic. That's me, by the way, and others like me. There's many like me who believe the earth is not what they've taught us to be. And I believe it more from the Quran than anything else. And of course, I've proven it by my own observation of the earth and the stars and the sun and the moon. It's obvious that those things are moving over us. We ain't moving. This is an obvious fact. If you didn't know anything and you were standing on the earth, you wouldn't think you're falling backwards or forwards on a spinning ball. You wouldn't think that. This is only because Satan has inspired you and giving you equations after equations and pictures and images, which are most of them falsified to make you believe that. So once you figured out that, hey, we're not in an abyss of a uh, cosmic nowhere and nothing and coming from God knows where, yeah, we're standing on tierra firma. They call it tierra firma in Spanish. That means earth firm. The Quran says it. It is entrenched, it is static, it is level, it ain't moving, it does not move. The earth, except when you have earthquakes and you bomb yourself to oblivion, sure, then it moves under you, yeah. Other than that,
Stand next to a
and if a
volcano.
volcano goes off. So, how can you prove? Uh, dig. I've worked in the oil business. As much as you dig under the earth,
Yeah.
the farther down you go, the hotter it becomes.
Oh.
And I have been on sites where they drill to depths of 24,000 feet, which I don't know how to convert that into meters, but more than 10,000 meters, I believe. Yeah, more than eight. No, sorry, maybe yeah, eight or 10 kilometers down into the earth, and the temperatures reach 300, 340 Fahrenheit, up to 400 Fahrenheit down there.
Mhm.
And what do you think is down there? Is it like a cool, air conditioned, comfortable, temperature controls environment down there? No, it's boiling hot. And then you look at the volcanoes. Where do you think all this lava is coming from? It's coming from under the earth. It ain't coming from above, right? That we can't even say that and make people believe that. We say it's coming from the center of the earth. No, it's coming from under the earth as far as we're concerned. From our objective observation, it's coming from under the earth. The volcanoes spew out lava. Analyze the lava, you will find much sulfur in it. Yeah. So now you can ascertain from your understanding that possibly those people who are now burning in the hellfire, who are our ancestors, most of them are burning in the hellfire, could be in their original sulfur forms burning down there. I don't know. I'm just spewing it out. I have no idea. But you can find a lot of sulfur in volcanic ash. Check it out. So yeah,
Wow.
you can
Great to
analyze.
God.
Is there a proof? Do you need a proof to believe that God exists? Do you need a proof for that? Most people need proof of God. We need proof. Yeah, we need proof that you're a messenger of God. Okay,
Prove it to
I
yourself.
can wait here till I die, and I will not be able to prove to you that I'm God's messenger. Okay, so let's see. There's another one.
But to conclude, the last thing that you said, we have to
No,
prove it
you don't have to
to
prove. You can't
ourselves.
prove it.
You
No,
don't
no,
have to prove
no.
anything.
I'm not saying that you can prove it. Nobody can prove that I'm God's messenger. Nobody. There is no proof of God's messenger.
But we can match
It
what you're
doesn't
saying
matter.
that's
So then you
aligning
have to believe the
absolutely
Quran
even
is from
then.
God.
Oh,
How do you prove Quran is from God? Tell me. How do you do that? You
yeah,
cannot prove
that
it. So
I
this
cannot.
whole
Yeah.
nonsense about proof is just garbage and stereotyping you into a corner saying you have to have proof. No, nonsense. Absolute nonsense. There is no proof of God, okay? The proof is to the one who believes. God opens himself to that person alone, like he did to me. I know God exists. I have proof for myself. So that's it. Now, how do I prove when someone else is a messenger of God? I can't. I believe the Quran is from God. Is there a proof? There's no proof. The proof is for me because I've been reading it for 25 or 23 years and I find nothing but absolute perfection in this book everywhere I look. It puts us to shame every other line. Anyone who's reading it with a true soul and an open heart will say, "You're a moron, man. You know nothing." But to do that, you have to pay attention to what the book is saying. You can't do it without paying attention to what the book is saying. It's impossible, right? And then you have to justify what the book is saying to look around in your soul and around on the earth what's going on. And that will prove to you that this Quran is from God. To you, no one else. Then you take, hey, look, the Quran says this, the Quran says that. It's perfect. What What are you talking about, man? That's an archaic old book. It's like fairy tales. These are ancient writings of people who knew nothing. We know everything. They used to live in caves back then, ride camels. They used to ride on camel backs and horses. Like today, we don't, right? We don't ride horses today or camels. We only used to ride them back there in the time of Muhammad and Moses and Jesus and all this. Nonsense. You must understand that we don't have the livelihoods that our ancestors had. And we don't know how Muhammad lived. We don't have a clue. We don't know how people lived 300 years ago, let alone so called 1400 that they say he was here, or Jesus 2000 years ago, or Moses 4000 or whatever. Now, how do you know? I mean, look at the remnants on the earth of their constructions. They still can't understand how they made them. And they say, oh, if this must have taken hundreds of years to make. But how do you know what technology they had or they didn't have to make that? You are just thinking up thoughts that it's a linear progression from two people on the earth to now whatever 8-9 billion that they tell us. That's absolute nonsense. Complete and total nonsense. Has no sense. Has no like basis of truth in it at all. At all. None of that is true. We are, uh, perfect word, retarded compared to those ancestors. Retarded is the word. I can find many others and I would use them in normal life, and I do. But on this stream, I'm being a little uh, conscientious of the fact that people have feelings and they get hurt by big words being used against them. Yeah. Anyways, so we've got another question. According to the Quran, what is the appearance, shape, reality of the universe, multiverse? And also, what is the reality situation of the heavens that are
Can you?
above us?
Your voice broke
Okay.
up. Can you repeat the question?
I think you're the one breaking up. I'm doing pretty okay, I think. Yeah. You're breaking up.
On the
But anyway,
screen.
I'll repeat the question. Yeah. You're frozen. You're frozen on that side. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Can you
hear you
hear
now,
me?
but your screen is frozen.
Yeah, you're having
Yeah.
some issues with transmission from that side. This time it's you. Last week it was me. So you're having some
Okay.
transmission link issues. Anyway, can you hear me?
Is it okay now? Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Can, can you hear me? Okay, all right. So the question is, according to the Quran, what is the appearance, shape, reality of the universe, multiverse? And also, what is the reality situation of the heavens that are above us? There is no such thing as multiverse. All these nonsensical, ludicrous lunatics and wicked so-called astrophysicists and string theory nonsensical pushers of garbage are telling you lies. There is no such thing as a multiverse. What nonsense is this? What, there is no universe either. Where is the universe? There is no universe. If you look at the word universe, it comes from one verse. One verse. Yeah, they love verses, right? And multiverse, many verses.
Oh,
Comes from the
verse.
word.
Like the
Yeah,
Gane ka verse.
yeah. The verse is a state, as a line from a song, right? They're
Oh,
singing
yeah,
songs
yeah.
out there. Anyway, so it's garbage. It's complete nonsense. There is no universe. There is no multiverse. Okay. There are the heavens and the earths. That's what we have here. And beyond that is all God. You can, when you die, you can ask him what's out there. He might tell you. I don't know. I just know it's God out there. Okay. He has created seven heavens and the earths under them. That's what he's created for us, all of us, the men and the demons and all the creation that is on the earth and that is in the heavens above us. There are seven heavens above us. We are under the lowest of those seven heavens. People say that they're staged and they're staged one next to the other on a plane. Nonsense. I don't believe that at all. They're one above the other. There is a plane that we stand on, which we call the earth, and the heaven above us, which is a firm heaven, a constructed heaven. The barrier is firm. You cannot cross it. There's no way to cross it except with the authority of God. Not power. You don't have the power to cross it. You have to have authority from God. It's like, when you go in and you swipe your card and the gate opens and you go inside, right? Your chip card or whatever you use. Similarly, if you have authority, you can cross this heaven to the next heaven above it. And then that next heaven has another heaven above it. And then that next and that goes all the way to the seventh heaven. And God's throne is above that seventh heaven. And above the heaven is fluid.
Beautiful.
Above the heaven is fluid. Above this heaven is fluid, pure fluid, I believe. And it comes down to us from there to grow things on the earth. That's what happens. That's how it's working here. We're not getting water from under the earth. The water is coming from above the earth, down from the heaven. And with that fluid, water as we call it, God grows everything on the earth. That's how it works. Everything on this earth is created from fluid. Fluid. The fluid comes down from the heaven above. Look up there. You say the clouds, yeah? All the theories of the clouds are absolute nonsense. The clouds form because God says be, but it is. It comes from the water. Yeah, how does it form above dry land then? I mean, we're standing on dry land. How does the cloud form above that? Where do they get the water from the sea? All the way from the sea? No. The clouds form however God wants them to form. The water doesn't just travel thousands of miles from the ocean and then comes over and then suddenly a cloud forms. No, God makes it happen however He wants. And from those clouds, the fluid comes down. Where does the fluid come to those clouds? From above, not from below. Not from below. It comes from above. The fluid comes down from above and rains down on the earth. How high are these clouds? I don't even know. I don't trust the altitude they tell you that they go to. I don't trust it at all. They measure it through their own mechanisms and make you believe all these distances. They don't know. I mean, they may know, but we don't know. And they're trying to fool us into thinking things are closer or farther than they actually are. That's what they're doing. I cannot prove it because I don't have the mechanics, the devices on the earth that they have to do the deception and the
Measurement.
that they're making in front of you. I don't have the planes and the trains and the ships and all that to go and prove what they're doing is wrong, but I know what they're saying is wrong. There is no escape from this earth except death. Absolutely not. The only escape is death. That's all the escape we have here. Other than that, you can run around this earth, you can dig as far as you want. You will not be able to dig beyond a certain point because beneath that is hell. And you cannot get into hell either without the will of God. Just like you can keep flying up as much as you want, you will hit the heaven. If you go in a straight direction, which you can't, because you manage your directions with these magnetic compasses, you don't know where you're headed fundamentally. Look into it. If you go by the compass direction, you don't know where you're going, actually. Yeah. But if you could ever endeavor to go in a absolute straight line in any direction and confirm it, you will hit the barrier and you will be destroyed. That's a promise of God. He's challenged man and demon, both of us, moronic creations of God, absolute morons that we are. He's challenged both of us, all demons and all men. If you're capable, go pass through the heavens from the sides of the heavens. Yeah, pass through them. Not will you be able to. If you try, you're going to be destroyed. So all this nonsense that they've told you, that they've crossed the heavens and they've gone to Mars and all this other nonsense, is absolute lie, absolute garbage, absolute delusion, absolute deception. And it is to keep you in a state of confusion as to what's going on. And what's going on is you're being tried here. We are being tried here. What is the meaning of life? That should be the question, right? What is the meaning of life? If I asked you, Imran, what is the meaning of life? What's your answer?
To be given a gracious chance from our Lord to ask forgiveness of my sins of my first life and this life and
Yeah,
seek
but what is
forgiveness.
that for then?
What is that?
What is that for? Like you're asking forgiveness for what?
So that God can allow me to go back to the garden where I was before.
Yeah, that's the fundamental thing, to save ourselves. We're here to save ourselves. That's why we're here on the earth. We're under trial. We are under trial. We're here to save ourselves, not anyone else, ourselves. If God wants to save someone else via you, He will use you to save them because they deserve to be saved because they want to be, and God accepts that. It's not you saving that person, it's not me saving that person. That's total nonsense. That's complete nonsense. You understand? The secret of life is that we're here to redeem ourselves from our fall, the fall of man, the example of Adam and his spouse from the garden. And there, the trial was only not to take from one tree, not to taste the fruit of one tree. That was the only trial. And guess what? We are stupid. Just like Adam was stupid and his spouse, they fell for Satan and his deception and they took it. What happened to the rest of us? We don't know. I mean, if we were tried, we all failed as well. So then God said, and what was the redemption there? Adam asked for forgiveness and his spouse. He asked forgiveness. Instead of doubling down, like all of you do to defend yourselves of why you made the error, like did Satan, when God told him, why aren't you prostrated to Adam? He turned around and said, I'm better. You created me from fire. You created him from sulfur. I ain't prostrating to him. So he, instead of saying, oh, I made a mistake, I made a mistake, he doubled down just like all of you do when you're caught in a problem, in a lie here. Adam and his spouse asked for forgiveness. So what was God's answer? This, you get a second chance. If they hadn't, and he doubled down and blamed it on Satan or someone else instead of themselves, we may not exist anymore here. Man would have been
Mm.
forgotten completely, or we'd all be in hell. I don't know. God will decide that, right? So that's what it is. The meaning of life is to save ourselves. The rest is all nonsense what we're doing here. To sustain ourselves, whatever nonsense we do. Is it difficult to sustain ourselves on this earth? What is the answer to that?
No.
Right. It is not difficult to sustain ourselves. We have made it difficult for ourselves because we want to progress. We need to have capital inflows to progress and gain technology. So we make it better for mankind, right? We're here to make everything better for mankind. And everything is getting better for mankind, as you can see, especially in the last 30, 40 years. It's obvious, right? I mean, everything has become more peaceful, everyone is happier, everyone is healthier, we are so much friendly, there's so much more friendliness between us. All the nations on the earth are singing the kumbaya. It's like, wow, it's beautiful. Let's have more progress. Now we're going into AI progress where we won't have to do anything. We let the AI judge it, right? Because we're stupid. We're pretty stupid. So we need the AI to judge for us. And who created the AI? Oh, we created it. Oh, you're stupid and you created something which is better than you. Oh, okay. I'll wait on that for a while. Yeah. What is going to happen? Absolute destruction. This is called self delusion, self glory. Mankind glorifies himself as some creature who is indispensable or something like that. And they're saving the earth as well at the same time. All these green programs, all this green energy, which is completely blowing up in their faces right now. If you look around the world, I mean, Europe completely had a schizo attack last year when the green energy could not suffice because there was some weather patterns or some wind died or something happened. Oops, we didn't take that into. Oh, really? You didn't think the wind might stop for a while? Yeah, that might not blow those windmills and make your no. You think there might not be a cloudy day when the sun is not shining on your solar panels? No, you didn't think of that. Oh, okay. Anyway, it's complete nonsense what they're doing, and it will bring absolute destruction to mankind. The more technology they put on the earth, these Apples, these Metas, these Samsungs, these Huawei's, these all these entities that are bringing all this technology, Tesla, it will bring absolute destruction to mankind in the end. They are destroying their environment where they live. If you go 100 kilometers away from where mankind operates, it's pristine beauty. It's natural. It is untouched. It's pure. You can live there off the land. They're pumping chemicals into the water supply, especially in Texas and many other areas, doing these shale projects. They're destroying the water supply. People have gone to court for it, and some of them have actually won their cases against these so-called bringers of wealth and power and progress on the earth. It's nonsense. It's complete nonsense. Anyway, let's see. Here got another question. Okay, so would it be accurate to say that the ones who shall be brought near to God, like Jesus, son of Mary, that they are those who will be admitted by God into the garden, which is underneath the seventh heaven? We can't say anything of that nature. We will be made to enter into
Your
the
voice
garden.
is breaking up.
Yeah, you will be made to
Your
enter.
voice is
Can you hear me now? No,
no, it's cracking. Can
really.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Now it's my turn to be going a little wonky.
Okay, now you can hear you.
Okay. So, yeah, we don't know which under which heaven we will be. I can tell you there are two different levels of gardens in the hereafter. One is the lower garden, which is the garden, and then there is the garden which is called the Firdaus, which is the higher garden. Under which heaven it is, you can keep dreaming. You just need to know that you're not going to the hellfire, and any garden will be good. The lower garden is the thing uh,
You
to
just need to
locate.
know you got there.
Yeah, you need to know that you're not going to the fire. That's all you need to know. Which garden is of less import, not going to the fire is of import. Yeah, you want to go to the higher garden, which is Firdaus, and then the lower. So there are two gardens for the men and two gardens for the demons, as I understand it.
No, no, the voice is breaking up.
Okay, well,
It's
I
not
don't
good.
know. Can you hear me? Okay, it's your problem, Imran. They
Yeah,
can hear
now
me. They can hear me. It's your problem.
I think they can hear you.
Your
Okay, that
communication is problematic, not mine. So
okay.
anyway,
I think it's my video.
the the two gardens for the demons and the men are each one has the higher garden and lower garden. So if you're not of the higher garden people, you will be in the lower garden if you are not in the fire. And if the demons, the same thing. They have a higher garden and a lower garden. So if you're not in the higher garden, you'll be in the lower garden unless you're in the hellfire. There are only three options for men and demons in the hereafter. You can either be in hell, and in hell you will all be together. The men and the men and the demons, they will all be together in the hellfire. And in the garden, the men the men will be in a lower garden by themselves and a higher garden by themselves, and the demons will have their two gardens as well. Now, this is an understanding I have uh, been brought by reading chapter 56 and some of the other signs that are in the Quran. I mean, that's how I see it. There are four gardens because it's clear in chapter 55 and 56. So that's how I see it. What will happen, which heaven you're under, doesn't matter. It has no meaning. In today's world, we'll have the meaning there. I mean, there are are 6 other heavens there. Yeah? Since God's throne is above the highest heaven, the seventh, and would it be accurate to say that the garden underneath the seventh is indeed the garden? No, we don't have to say that. We don't know that. How can you say that? There's no clarification of that. That that the seventh heaven has the firdaus. No, there is no understanding of that. So does that answer the question? I think it does. Yeah, we don't know which garden is in which heaven. We don't know that. We will see when we go there. If you look at the number of heavens above us, there are six heavens above us, right? So then if you look at if there are 2 gardens for men and two, that's 4, right? That's 4 gardens, 4 heavens, if you think that's the way it is. I don't know, I'm just telling you an idea. And then the fifth and the sixth, what's going to be there? I don't know. Seventh will be destroyed here. This will be destroyed. The earth here will be destroyed completely. There's no doubt in that. And where we will be on those other 6 heavens? God knows. He will decide. I don't have that knowledge, and I don't really need to know. I mean, you need to know whether you're going to get out of the fire or not, and that you'll find out most likely when you die. Some of us know beforehand. Most of us will know when we die. So here's another question. So we have one more question after this, yeah? So did we all eat from the forbidden tree? Can you hear me? Okay. So did we all also eat from the forbidden tree inside of the garden with Father Adam and Mother Eve, or was it only those two? We don't know what happened with us. We know that they ate. We don't know what we were tried or not, and we failed or not. We don't know that. But you can clearly imagine in your mind that we were all probably tried and we all failed as well. Yeah. I don't know. The answer is I don't know. We know about Adam and Eve, absolutely. And Adam and Eve were not our father and mother over there, by the way. They were just Adam and Eve over there. They were not our father and mother there. They became our father and mother after Adam and his spouse accepted their fault, wronging themselves, and asked forgiveness of God. Then he put them down here and brought us from them through the act of copulation and intercourse and into this life we came. Then they became our father and mother. All these connections are going to be cut there if we are not in the garden. If we are all in the garden, God will join the fathers and the mothers and the spouses and the children together in the garden. But as far as the day of the standing, when we will be judged, there will be no connection between us. All will be on their own, standing by themselves. There will be no two things about it. So I say that we all failed. I don't know how we were tried, tree or not. I don't know. I can't tell you that. I have no knowledge of that. But I do believe we probably were all tried and we failed as well. Again, I can't prove that. Or the other is that Adam failed, so he put us all down here. So now you're all going to be tried here. And the trial is much more difficult now. The trial is not that easy anymore. So, in that sense, we don't really need to worry about which tree we ate from. We need to worry about the trees we are eating from here that we do not and are not commanded and are told not to. How many trees are there? Oh, there's so many. Left, right, and center, we're eating from trees here that we're not supposed to. And that's a metaphor. Imran has joined the league again. Let's see. Can you hear me, Imran? You're back.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I something was going on terrible here.
Right. Yeah, I knew it was I thought it was your connection, not mine this time. Yeah, and our friend over here proved that he can hear me clearly and not your was the issue over there. Anyways, so we've answered that question. If there's any other question, I can take one more and then I'm out of here because I don't want to spend more than an hour every week. It's enough for me to answer questions. There's only one person asking questions. Eh? There are four people, or five actually, watching, but only one asking questions. And Imran a little here or there.
Imran needs to follow the answers you've given to Imran for the last 15 years.
Okay, here's the last statement or question. Let's see. Does that mean that we might have failed to obey God in a world slash place other than there within the garden? No, I don't know where they're getting that from. And that God has simply put us to trial by bringing us here through art. No, nonsense. I don't know where you're getting this nonsense from. We were all in the garden, all of mankind. And from that garden, we've been thrown down to this earth. That's the whole story. The rest of what you're trying to figure out here is all nonsense. I mean, I don't know where you get these ideas from. In another world place other than what? No, it's complete nonsense. We were all stood there when Adam was chosen by God and was taught the names of all of us. We were standing there when this whole thing started. All of man, every man was created at that time, and all our names were given by God to us. And Adam was taught those names. And then the angels were then told, tell me, God said, tell me with names of these, which is talking to us. He hadn't taught them our names. And then he taught Adam all the names. And then he told Adam, tell them the names. And Adam told them the names. And they did not know. That is where the story began. And after that, he commanded all the angels to prostrate to Adam, not to his spouse, not to us, to Adam, only to Adam. So all of them prostrated except Iblis. He was arrogant and he thought he was from the high and he disobeyed God. And then God told him, why have not you prostrated? I commanded you to prostrate and you have not prostrated. So at that time, and Satan became Satan from Iblis, from the state of Iblis, who was an angel at that time. He became Satan, and all who follow him will go to hell, except those who turn and right themselves before their death in a proper, timely fashion, which is not going to happen for most of mankind. God has already ordained that he will fill hell from the men and the demons all together. Okay? He will fill hell. That's a statement of fact. He knows most of us are going to go to hell. There's no two things about it. And there will be no escape from that aspect of creation. People say, well, then what's the point? If he knows most of us are going to hell, yeah, because we all failed in the first life. Man failed in the first life. He knows what we're going to do. And that's why he's given us umpteen chances here to turn in our lives. He sends his warners, he sends his books, he sends his signs, he clarifies to you that there is no God and you people are all nonsensical, but you will continue following your thoughts that you have something of a ability to save yourself by yourselves without God. There's nobody's going to be saved unless God saves them. Not happening. All right, one more question. Go ahead. So I'm waiting for man of God question.
My apologies. It's like my
Yeah, it's fine.
connection.
Yeah, he's got one more question, and I'm making an exception here right now. He's coming with it. Okay, so let's put it up. After death, will we be able to see God openly and clearly? And which inmates of the hell are those ones who will be resurrected blind? All of them. What do you mean, which ones? If you're a rejecter, you will be brought out blind there. You will not be able to see God. The rest of us who are not going to hell will see God openly and clearly. I don't know how openly and clearly, but we'll be able to see God however He wants to show Himself to us. We will see God. Yep. We will look to the face of God. We are looking towards looking to the face of God when we die. So all the rejectors, they're not going to be able to see God. They will be shielded from Him, all of them. Those that are headed to hell, they're not going to see God. They will just hear sounds of God and the angels and the Spirit and the rest of us who are the witnesses telling them to go to hell. There, all of us will tell them to go to hell in the hereafter. Anyway, is that it? We're done now, huh? Okay, guys. So thanks for the company. There's been 5 watchers, huh? I wonder who they are. I only know two of them. I only know two of them. The other three, I don't know. All right, then. Peace.